Donald Trump has been facing so many issues lately. I mean, he has always been a man of controversy from the time of his birth up to his late 70s right now. Now, in a recent verdict that was given in a court in New York, it was stated that Trump has been found guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records and fraud. Now, in today's video, we're going to discuss what are the impacts of Trump's verdict. Number one, we're going to discuss what is the impact on his presidential campaign. Number two, what is the impact on him going to jail? Will he even go to jail? And number three, we're going to discuss what is the impact of this verdict on Trump's marriage moving forward. Will he get a divorce? What is the impact on the prenup and all the matters thereafter? So in this edition of Legal News Daily, let's discuss everything concerning the impact of the verdict on Trump's trial and his life in general. So welcome to Simply Legal, and let's discuss all of this moving forward. Welcome back to Legal News Daily. My name is Counsel Terry Kahuma, the usual host on this channel. And before we get into the point, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, share all these videos with everyone who you know would be able to love these videos, legal principles and current news and events simplified. You can also send this video to Donald Trump so that he can be able to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, he can also reach out to us on our legal mobile app called Famiron. Famiron is an app which connects people and lawyers together, offering so many services which can help people to be able to access lawyers, legal services, different attorneys who can be able to help with whatever legal issue that you have moving forward. Please, Donald Trump could also use the Famiron app where he can be able to access any lawyer who can help him out in his trial. He can be able to get a lawyer who can help him out, get back on track with his legal team regardless of this verdict. So straight to the point. Now, what is the legal impact or what are the ramifications of Donald Trump's trial and verdict? Number one, like I said, let's discuss what his issues are concerning his campaign team. Donald Trump, as you all know, has been the president of the United States from 2016 to 2020. And from 2020 up to now, we have had President Joe Biden, who has been running the country. Now, Trump is moving to another term and is desirous of doing a second term as president of the United States. Now, long story short, Trump in this 4-year period from 2020 to 2024 has been facing so many different lawsuits, so many class actions against him, including number one, inciting violence on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., falsifying business records, engaging with a prostitute. I don't know that now that's a legal issue. However, let's discuss the major issue here. Trump was found guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records. Now, what many of you may not know is that falsifying business records are what's called a Class E felony. Now, what is a felony? A felony is a bigger crime. A felony is a very large and horrendous crime, meaning that a felony is a crime which deserves a very huge or capital punishment. What is a capital punishment, you may be asking? A capital punishment is something which it's basically a punishment of a very huge crime like murder, like manslaughter, like homicides, like rape or defilement. However, when it comes to falsifying of business records, much as it's a felony, it is a Class E felony, meaning that it's a very, very small crime, and it may just qualify the suspect or the convicted person to be able to go to jail for about 4 years or pay a very huge fine. Now, I'm not a lawyer in the United States, but I understand United States law so much and the world in general. And a Class C action, meaning that if Donald Trump has been given this verdict, he could face about 4 years in jail time. Now, the actual sentencing is going to come up on July 11th, but Trump is also claiming that there's going to be another court that is also going to decide that same matter, which will be in November. Now, the brief facts are now done. Now, the most important thing to consider is that how does this verdict, how does this conviction affect Trump's campaign moving forward? Number one, many of you are saying that Trump can now not still stand for president of the United States now that he has been given a verdict or that he has been convicted. That is totally wrong. Trump can actually still run for president of the United States because there is no law stating that a convicted felon or a convicted person of a capital offense cannot run for president of the United States, meaning that even a prisoner can run for president of the United States. Now, I want us to understand that Trump still, even if he is facing his conviction on July 11th or he's facing his sentencing, even if he goes to jail for 4 years, even if he goes to jail for 4 years and he's in prison, the fact that the United States will presume that he's now the president of the United States, let's say that he wins the electoral race, then he can still run for president and actually win being a presidential or being a president of the United States. Now, let's go to the second half of it. And that's whether Trump can actually lose his wife, lose his marriage, or whether Melania Trump can actually sue Trump for cheating on her. Now, this is the second half of our video. We find that Melania Trump is married to Donald Trump. And it's no secret that she married Donald Trump for his money. Donald Trump married her for her looks. So it was more of a transactional marriage. But they have a son called Baron Trump. The fact that Donald Trump and Melania Trump married each other in terms of a transactional marriage, then we find that automatically there's a prenup that was signed. Now, I talked about a prenup on this channel. I've talked about it concerning the Will Smith and Jada Smith saga, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below. However, when we look at prenuptial agreements, so what a prenup is basically a legally binding document or contract which two intending spouses in a marriage sign before they get into the actual marriage. When I mean two intending spouses, I basically mean that two people who are getting married to each other and they don't fully trust each other, or they want to maintain the wealth that they each brought into the marriage, then they're going to go for what is called a prenup. So in other words, a prenup is a legally binding document or contract in that if we enter into this marriage, I know that all my wealth that I accumulated in all my 40 years, I'm going to keep it. All the 40 years that I've also accumulated in my marriage, in my previous marriages, or what I had before, I'm also going to keep it. So the husband and wife are going to sign this prenup stating that in the eventuality that we divorce, this is going to go to you, this is going to go to me, this is going to go to our child. Now, Melania Trump, there have been rumors circulating that Melania Trump can actually sue Donald Trump for divorce for Donald Trump cheating on her. Now, of course, we know that the hush money payment that he gave Melania Trump was because he slept with a prostitute. He hired a prostitute called Stormy Daniels. He slept with her and he paid her hush money so that she keeps quiet and does not say anything concerning his affair with Stormy Daniels, the prostitute. So the biggest question is that can Melania Trump win? Well, the facts of their prenup are still a bit sketchy, but it was said that she recently flew to New York to be able to amend her prenup. And the biggest worry for Melania is that she wants to know that whether their son Baron Trump, the son she has with Trump, is going to be able to get the lion's share that Trump's original children will also get. A point to note is that Trump has been involved in about 3 marriages and he has had different children from each of those marriages. So the biggest issue is that whether Melania Trump went to amend their prenup to include Baron Trump, her son, is a question of fact, and we'll get to know those facts later. The biggest issue here on Simply Legal is that I want you to be aware that anyone can sign a prenuptial agreement, especially in the United States or in the European countries, because prenups are used so much there. Unlike Uganda or Africa, where prenups are not used so much, prenups are a very important way of ascertaining that whatever money I brought to the marriage remains mine, whatever assets I have remain yours, or whatever assets you have remain yours. So it's important to note that Melania Trump can she can file for divorce against Trump because of Trump cheating on her. So she has a lot of grounds to be able to sue Donald Trump for cheating on her. And finally, let's go to part 3 of this particular video, where I'm going to discuss what is the general outcome on Trump's life moving forward concerning this verdict. So, therefore, what is the biggest impact of this verdict or this conviction on Trump's life in general? Number one, Trump's life is definitely going to change, because if he has been given a verdict and the court is saying that there's a likelihood that he could be able to go to jail for 4 years, then that definitely affects his life, because he could be going for a campaign, let's say to Louisiana or Wisconsin, and then he's being told that, you know what, you've been given this verdict, we're taking you to jail for 4 years. Or if the judge decides for Trump to actually pay a huge fine and not go to jail, then Trump could actually be looking at paying millions of dollars for this so-called falsifying of legal documents or falsifying of business records. That's number one. Number two is that his marriage is definitely going to fall apart because he cheated on his wife and he could be facing a divorce lawsuit. Now, legally, the fact that Melania Trump is looking out for the best interest of her son, Baron Trump, Trump is going to also look at things like alimony. Now, alimony is a basic issue in family law. Alimony is basically child support. So, Melania Trump can actually sue Trump's trust, or Trump generally, for being able to pay alimony of about $3 million to their son, Baron. So, basically, Trump will look at paying child support for Baron because Baron is still underage and Baron needs to keep going to school. So, if Trump and Melania Trump divorce, then Trump could also look at paying alimony. And then finally, let's also look at whether or what actions can Trump actually have to be able to go ahead of this lawsuit. So So number one, Trump can basically do an appeal. The fact that Trump was sued in this lower court, in a district court, then Trump can actually appeal this case. Now, what is an appeal? An appeal is basically a process by a convicted person or by one of the parties of a case where they are asking a higher court, they have taken their case to a higher court to be able to judge the same case, but in the face of different judges. So basically, an appeal is a situation where a party to a case, whether a convicted person, whether it's a criminal case, whether it's a civil case, has taken this same case to a different court or a higher court for the judges of that court to be able to judge that case differently, or he has issues concerning the judgment or the conviction of that case. Because Trump can basically appeal stating that he says that this case was biased. The judge was biased, the judicial system is corrupt, it's full of criminals, and everyone is out to get him. So he can appeal and he can actually state that the judge was biased. So meaning that the grounds for Trump's appeal can be number one, bias of the judge. Number two, an unfair jury. A jury, for Ugandans who may not know what a jury is, that a jury is a group of people who are appointed to be able to give their own feedback or give their own assessment or judgment of a certain case. So Trump can say the judge was biased, he can say the jury was biased, he can say he believes that this case was politically driven and therefore I deserve an appeal. So Trump can go to the Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. Yeah, so let's just see where this Trump case is going to go. Let's see what the impact is. And I think to me the biggest impact is that even if Trump wins into the 2024 election and he becomes president, he could face possible impeachment, because if there's a verdict that could have come out against him where he's falsifying business records, someone could say that Trump could actually also falsify very classified documents concerning the US government. Until next time, please go to my different social media platforms and please hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the notification bell on my TikTok or my different social media platforms. Please, for people in the United States, please refer the family up to Donald Trump. You never know. His entire campaign team could be able to use a lawyer on that platform that can be able to help him out with whatever legal issue that he has. He could even appeal this case and appeal it to the Supreme Court or Court of Appeal and have this whole verdict overturned. Well, until next time, I'll see you. And I'm really truly Terry Kahuma. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye.